Hey, what's up, you censorious tube? Just coming at you with a video. I did this earlier, but my thing messed up, so hopefully it doesn't mess up this time. Anyways, I am at Review the Earth on Twitter, and I am Review the Earth channel. So, I wanted to do a video on why I'm doing videos. I think it's important to address the reasons why somebody might elect to put themselves out there to the world, and like what's the process behind that for me, at least. I figured I'd delve into that because I started philosophically thinking to myself, like, why, somebody would want to know why I would go onto YouTube. I think that YouTube is a platform that demands the best of your communication skills. I think that you must be an effective speaker and be able to effectively communicate ideas with YouTube. Unlike with little blast tweets or something, which are effective too in their own way. But YouTube, you really have to make an argument and stand by it and be convincing. So YouTube, I'm going to use the terminology, the right, has helped us to win some of the ideological arguments going on, because we've been able to correctly articulate ourselves through the use of platforms like YouTube to overcome this massive labels being put on us. The left uses, in my opinion, they focus more on emotions, and so everything that you're doing is morally wrong and devoid of all human emotion. I'm trying to speak fundamentally on like ideological concepts, and that's been my observation, as the left is the more emotional of the creature of the group, let's say. And being that the left is the more emotional side, they tend to use emotional rationalization for their arguments, which don't always lead to the best results, in my opinion. It's almost like I'm gonna like paraphrase an example, and it might even be a bad one to use, but let's just, for the argument's sake, so you can understand what I'm talking about, use it. So somebody might say, oh my God, global warming is killing us all. We have to do something about it, pulling on your heartstrings. Anyone that wouldn't be willing to do something about it doesn't care about the environment. Pulling on your heartstrings, taking your argument and twisting it out of context is what they do, typically. Alright? So, you can see how if one was to purely focus on the emotion of it, yeah, you could get tied up in yes, we must, I better pledge to save the earth or else I'll be demonized for it type of mentality. It's like bullying you with political correctness, or bullying you into submission. That's kind of been their tactic lately. Like, they're so high and mighty, they're so morally clean and free of any human condition, and free of any the word I'm using is escaping me. Infallibility, No, they're all humans too, and they make mistakes. Everybody does. So, the point was that YouTube has allowed the right to convey messages of logic, and it demands that you present your argument in a way that is acceptable to those around you, to the public, and that hopefully in some way it's attractive to the message and helps, solidify liberty. I don't know if I said that real great. But I guess the point is like, it's practice for me, right? Like, in order to become a good YouTuber, you can't just pick up the phone and start talking into it, which is basically all I'm doing. But at the same time, it requires some thought. It requires, okay, what am I going to talk about? How am I going to keep people's interest? What am I going to say that's interesting? Why is what I have to say important or relevant to the world at all? Which I think is kind of the fundamental key. Like, why, like, part of why I'm doing this would be to reach people, okay? Like, I care about the future of this country. I care about the future generations to come that live here. This country has been great to me. I want to pass that forward, but there's problems and we need to fix them. And so I care about the country, which is why this particular channel will never have ads on it. This is my political channel. This is for me to look at the political landscape, judge not judge, but review the earth. That's why I named it that. To look at everything everywhere, review it, and give an opinion about it. For the reason of being able to ideologically carry those opinions into the public setting, for possible debate if that came up, and or public speaking events. I feel like, because I have some background in public speaking, not a lot, but a little, enough to build enough structure to build something better, to become a better public speaker. It's a little platform I can stand on. Like, I have had some official training. Might as well talk about it. The Dale Carnegie class for communications. I've taken that, and I'm a graduate of that program, and it goes much farther beyond farther beyond just public speaking. It's not about that. It's kind of about everything that leads to public speaking. Why would you speak in public? You have to have some kind of confidence level, and you have to have some kind of ego level. I mean, people say ego like it's a bad thing, which it can be if you have a huge ego, but you also have to have the confidence within yourself to be able to go on camera and convey any sort of a message, and have the confidence and the egotistical state that you're correct about your observations, and you're gonna put it on paper for everybody. So I believe that YouTube is fundamental for winning the ideological battles that are set in front of us. I think that it is the #1 platform because my mind can go straight out into the world and can influence the world, potentially. And maybe I hope that happens. And if not, then this is no more than just an exercise in me becoming a better public speaker and using this, like, I'm imagining you guys right now, like I'm giving a speech and you're all out there listening to me. I'm trying to, hone those skills. I'm trying to grab your attention. I'm trying to make you interested as best I can, as best I know how. I'm trying to offer out there introspective on things you maybe never thought about before. So I do think that there's a certain level with social media, with all social media, that is like this me type of mentality. And no matter how much everybody wants to pretend, oh no, I'm on there so I can share my pictures with somebody else. No, you're on there because it's a big virtue signaling party, okay? Let's just not shit each other here. Try not to use the, questionable language. I'm kind of trying to keep that down as little as possible. Again, to keep practice so I can win ideological arguments and present myself as more intelligent, or at least come off as at least as intelligent as I am. Anyways, now see, I've digressed myself to my point talking about the language. So I gotta stop doing that. It's the one thing I do where I I interrupt myself in the middle of an important topic to address a verbal slip up, but I am trying to watch my language on this. But going back to my point, which was trying to, okay, see if I can regain my thoughts here. Virtue signaling on social media. So I see social media as like, I really see it this way now, is like, it's not like, oh, I'm, telling my grandma how I'm doing by making this post, or I'm doing this. It really is, look at me, hello, I'm right here, look at me, look what I'm posting out here. It just is. Not that that's a bad thing, that's what it is. So, I had to think to myself, I'm just evaluating here, thinking to myself, all right, well, is there any part of me that is doing this YouTube thing just as a, hey, look at me, I can go on here and talk about things, Am I doing this because I have a huge ego? Am I doing this because I just want to talk? Am I doing this because I got a big mouth? Am I doing this, like, why am I doing this? And as I thought through this, I thought very succinctly, this is an exercise in free speech. This is an exercise, this is me getting better every time I do this at public speaking, imagining that I am holding an audience of, of people. I've had to give speeches, small token little speeches, even at, Republican meetings and things like that. I'm a Republican by name. I'm part of the Jackson County Republican team, coalition, whatever you want to call it, the Jackson Party Republican, the Jackson County Republicans, I guess. So I've been a member on and off, and I've attended events, and I've had to speak for voting terms. Who's going to do this, who's going to do that, okay, make a speech type of thing, Robert's Rules of Order. So, doing this, speaking to you guys and imagining me speaking in front of an audience really is helping hone my verbal, if this is the right word, oratory skills. I'm becoming a better speaker through doing this. I'll be able to lobby a better argument towards any critics of mine, through speaking. It's a vent, really. It helps me, like, when I feel like I have things to say, or that the world is not taken seriously, I can always come here and vent. So it's kind of a stress reliever. It's helping me to become a better public speaker. It's keeping my mind engaged on the things that are going on in the world around me. And I'm building some sort of sense of community with fellow YouTubers. That's really been a great experience. I mean, I have had no regrets at this point. But you might ask, well, you're really hanging yourself out there. Why would you do that? Because, quite frankly, there's more risk involved. There's a risk involved with putting yourself out there, and the risk is, maybe people will hate me. Maybe people won't like what I have to say. Maybe people will try to knock me down. Wouldn't it be easier just not to say anything? Of course it would be. Is it easier not to make YouTube videos? Yes, it's easier not to make YouTube videos. So when you boil all this down, and I started thinking to myself, I started trying to analyze, am I doing this for the right reasons? Why exactly am I doing this? I should be telling my audience why I'm doing this. Because it's not just somebody clicking, record and just talking nonsense. Like, I am trying to be focused. I am trying to have a point. I am trying to hold an audience. I am trying to be interesting. These things all matter to me. So I find that YouTube is the best outlet for all of this stuff. Like, for political activism. Because in the realm of political activism, if you actually enter the realm of politics and start going to meetings and start becoming involved, you will no doubt be put on the spot in some fashion or another to present your ideas to a group of individuals. So this is really just practice for that. It's practice on honing those skills. It's practice on, okay, well, maybe I need to go back and start rereading some of my Dale Carnegie stuff that I haven't, not stuff, invaluable information. It's so good. The Dale Carnegie stuff is the best stuff you can get involved in. It literally is the best, most important stuff I've ever dealt with as far as literature. Taught me more than college or anything. So, you know, mad props to the Dale Carnegie courses, class for communications, Dale Carnegie course. That's like the greatest thing ever for salespeople, especially if you're interested in sales or selling things. You would want to know about that. It'd just be really cool anyways. So yeah, it's making me want to become a better public speaker. So being that I am political, being that I have ideas, being that I'm outspoken individual, or somewhat, I mean, I don't try to be outspoken when at, you know, events. I don't try to get under people's skin. I don't even try to bring it up because I know that a lot of people don't agree with me and a lot of people don't care as much as I do. That's the wrong word. It's not that they don't care as much as I do. They're not as involved as I am. They're not as deeply studied, as learned as I am in certain aspects of in geopolitics. We'll put it that way. I've grown to think that I've done a heavy duty amount of studying and intake to try to figure the world out and to try to help people. So that's why I do this. I'll never have ads on this channel, on any channel that's political in nature, where it's me just espousing my political views. I'll never take ads on that, ever. I promise you. This is purely to try to help my country. This is my one little service thing where I can give back. I can, and it's better for me to become a good public speaker, and I'm having fun with it. So I really appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully I covered everything. I like these free form, not rants, but free form takes. I like to just talk for 15-20 minutes. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. I'm gonna keep cranking out the content as best I can, and have a great day. All right, peace.